Hey everybody, Jackie Blue's getting close. We have a running and moving bus. There's no brakes on it. We don't have anything hooked up, which is kind of a blessing in disguise right now because we're planning to take the suspension out today, the front torsion suspension. We lowered the rear by moving the spring plates, which was super easy. This was a 5-minute thing. This one is not going to be 5 minutes. I do think it's going to be fairly simple though. Our buddy Nick gave us an idea. What we have is there's a round piece of pretty serious metal in here, right? And it's welded to the inside of this tube. Through the middle of our piece of metal, our anchor is square. It's milled square, and then there's what they call torsion leafs in here. So a torsion bar is a bar. It's a round bar that twists when you hit a bump. So it's anchored here, and you hit a bump and it twists, right? Well, this is torsion leafs, which I've never seen before. So what a lot of guys will do is, since this moving up is hitting a bump, all of your spring action is from here to here in the tube, right? So they'll pull this off and then they'll take a few of the smaller torsion leaves out and discard them. I think that's probably an all right thing for like around town or whatever, if you're just going to a car show or Cars of Coffee, whatever you do, right? But I think going down the highway, we're gonna be lowered a little bit, and we don't have super high dollar shocks, and there aren't any really other suspension modifications that we're making. So I want to leave the original suspension as stiff as we can. I don't want the thing where you turn and it feels like it wants to roll over, and that's, I think, what would happen if we pulled some leaves out. So like I was saying, our buddy Nick said, well, I asked him, I said, well, how far do you think we'd have to turn this thing to lower us 2 inches or whatever, what we did in the back? And I made the mistake of not measuring first. I just put it on there, kept trying until I liked it. But now I don't know. Not that it matters, because you're ultimately you're just going to keep doing it until you like the stance. But so I didn't really have a good guess for him as far as how far we wanted to lower it. Guy's an expert at everything at Volkswagen, so we try to get him to, we probably bother him a little bit too much with questions, but he told me what to do is, we'll take this. So this is an anchor. This is an anchor for that, This is a bolt that anchors the anchor for the torsion leaves. And it looks like this. This is out of our shift linkage, but it just has a pin on the end and then a lock nut. So at the factory, I'm sure all they did was they adjusted it where they wanted to, and they ran this pin into there. And then they put a lock nut on the outside of it. So what they have for lowering kits for these is they have like a serrated adjuster here. So there'd be a piece that looks like a comb, I guess, that welds to this. You'd have to slot the hole that this is in, and then there's another piece on the outside that anchors the bolt. So you decide where you want it in the ride height. So I told Nick about this, and he for a while he's like, he didn't really know what I was talking about, and then he said, well, why would you even buy a kit if you're not going to adjust things? You're just going to lower it and you're going to leave where you're at, where you like it. So then he told me to just get the axle out, get this loose, just let the thing turn in there. We'll have to have all the leaves out because there's going to be pressure on it. But let the thing turn in there and tack it. Lower the thing back down if you like where it's at. Pick it back up and finish welding it. So obviously all this stuff won't have to get hooked up. We can just roll it up in there, lower it down. We say, yeah, well, that's right where we want it, and then we'll anchor it where we like it. This isn't the only thing holding it. There's some sort of a weld, or I don't know if they just pushed dimples in that corresponded with dimples that were in our anchor. But we have to drill 2 more spots out on this tube to get that thing to move. So we're just gonna put it on the bench, and we'll try to give you a good idea of what we're doing when we have it on the bench. This whole steering pivot mechanism is in the way to get at least this one dimple drilled out. I'm calling it a dimple because that's what it looks like to me, but it could very well be a weld. I haven't had one apart, so we're probably half an hour away from finding out exactly what it is. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll try to explain it as best we can. A lot of these videos are just a lot of videos that we watch are just, you do this and that, and they point to it. They don't ever show you how to do it. So we're gonna try to get as much on film as we can, as much on this video as actually doing it, not showing you the before and after. Thanks. We're trying to decide if we're going to keep that stop. So that's what stops it when it bottoms out. You hit a big bump, and this arm will come down and hit on here. But since we're lowering it, it's going to bottom out more often, unless we cut this and turn it a bit. You can also use a shock. Well, you wouldn't use the shock as a stop. Like if you were bottoming out once a day while driving it, you're gonna ruin something. So the shock wouldn't be a good way to do it, but if something was to break, the shock would stop it from actually hitting the highway. Actually, this all just, like if you were to break our anchor, or somehow break all of our spring leaves at once, torsion leaves. But I'd like to cut these away now to get an idea of how much tension is on the leaves against this. I wonder if I could just cut it out of there, or knock it out of there. It would just be nice to start knowing that that this isn't what's holding us. You know what I'm saying? If I just take these loose now, then it's sort of hard to find a starting point. If I cut this away and it doesn't touch the steel, then we sort of know where we were with no weight on it. Right now, I think this is probably just holding this up. Let's see if I can get it out of there. It's so close to touching it, but it's not. So without that on there, that has no spring tension. And what we could be doing is the other side could be pushing us up. So I'll get the other side knocked off there and we'll see. Yeah, this one's not even touching at all. So, yeah. So that just makes me feel better about taking all this stuff apart too, because I know we're not dealing something that's all loaded up and is going to hit somebody in the face when we take this apart. I don't know what I'm going to find in here. This is all brand new to me. We'll get those adjusters off. To be honest, we might, now that we don't have tension there, we might be able, here's the dimple I was talking about. We might not have to take any of this stuff apart, in my opinion, because we don't have tension on it now. The only reason that I would have taken these off is so when we drill these out, it doesn't just spin in there and we don't know where we're at. But we don't have any tension. I'm gonna leave these on for right now. So we'll flip it up, we'll cut this off so we can get to that other dimple, I'll call it. Is there one right there? Yep, one right there. So there's gonna be one here and here. So it'd be 4 total. There'd be 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is your bolt. So we gotta drill this one, this one, this one, take that bolt out, and then we should be able to turn our anchor. I don't know if anchor is the right word for it, but that's what we're gonna call it. So, Christine wants to get I think a 17. I think that's probably what that is. And get that bolt out, taken out, and then this one down here. And I'll start drilling on these guys. So that's basically what we're doing. And then once we get our anchor turned, we can just copy that angle onto a drill bit just with the grinder, and then we can reseat this in the same damn hole into the same threaded hole, and then just make a hole with a drill bit into our anchor that fits into. So it won't even look lowered. If you look underneath the thing, yeah. Which doesn't really matter. It's just kind of a neat deal.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're going for.
A neat deal. Kind of a neat deal. That's what we're after.
Yeah.
What I call my shop, neat iron. Can you give me the cutoff or the air hose, and I'll get these welds cut and get that out of the way.
some mud on there.
Yeah. So every time you're working on something for the first time, you don't know how it's put together, and it's just a little bit more time consuming to make sure that you're not cutting through something that you shouldn't be. Although you still will cut through stuff you shouldn't be.
Just have to be skilled enough to put it back together.
Right. Yeah, so there's nothing there. If I cut through there, that should break loose pretty easily. A really short jack stand.
The bottle jack or no?
Jack stand. A little jack stand. Was it over here, maybe? Yep, that'll work. See if I can get this lifted up a notch so that when I lift it up, can you slide it under right here?
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, try it on the top one. That ain't gonna work either, is it? Yeah, but we're not gonna get any lift out of it. Let me just move this stuff and I'll just keep flipping it. You wanna pull it your way? That's right. We're good. Take this one and clean it out and find a socket that fits inside there, because this one didn't come out with the nut.
Oh, fits
So-
inside there?
Yeah, so we need an Allen to fit in there.
Okay.
Doesn't seem possible. You can go to the drawer. I don't imagine it's in there very hard. Okay. Doesn't have extra ratchet though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That ratchet's locked up.
Oh. Of course.
So when we have this out too, hun, let's take all of these greasers out and put new ones in.
Where do we get those? Is that hardware store?
Yeah,
Where do we need one, two?
a bunch.
Because they just come in a set, huh?
Yeah, we might even have some here. But just grab a vice grip and you clamp right on them and unscrew them.
Basic, right?
Yeah, but just the ends.
Yeah.
Just like that. They should come out pretty easy, I think. Yeah. That way we can grease it and know that something got in there. Greasy.
Alright, this one does not want to budge.
So yeah, there'll be 10 or 15 of them on here, I think. Definitely better now than later.
Right.
That one loose. No. Yeah, that one's loose.
This is just not right. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. It's probably all of them on that side.
No, I think there's one right here. Isn't this one? No. I think it must be. What are these?
Yeah, that's one, isn't it?
This and that.
Wow. How goddamn many grease hooks do they need?
They both are?
Yeah. But everything's so tight on it still, a person hates to just drive it and have that stuff come, you know, get worn out because we're too dumb to replace the grease hooks. Can we tip this back some? Yeah, let me tip it a little bit. Can you slide that underneath? Oh, right there on the tip. On that. Yep. There, that helps a bunch.
I'm gonna have to do the outside instead because this is too close to the table to get in there.
Okay.
Some mud. Holy crap. What's that?
I'll tell you what. This ain't near as easy as they said it was gonna be. I'll turn the wheel this way if I can. Can you lift it up and turn the wheel toward you?
This way?
Yeah, see you're stuck on the, there you go. That might have helped some. I'm gonna walk over there. Let me set this right there. That way I won't forget it. Because I'm gonna trip over it.
Right. No, you can do that.
Why am I doing that when I could just cut a little slit right here and leave that in there?
I have no idea.
Nick's watching right now. Why doesn't he just make that little slit?
Alright,
Shit.
good for now.
I just did about 20 minutes of work that I just have to weld back up later anyway. Dumbass. All I have to do is cut this way. Stupid. Stupid. Could have left those top welds right on it.
You live and learn.
Yep, I guess. Every day is a school day.
Yep.
And I never learned to read. I hate that. I hate when you do something that you didn't need to do,
Oh.
and then mess shit up even worse because you're dumb. You would understand what it's like. Man, those saw blades are awful. Okay, that one's broke free. Get in there like this. We don't know how much we have to turn these, but since they're anchored about 2 inches apart, we shouldn't be able to go that, we shouldn't be able to move that an inch and then end up being somewhere where we're confused with. So like if we see the next hole coming, we know we went way too far. But I'm gonna take the air hammer and see if I can spin them a little bit. So these are angled downward right now because this would be the top. So this being, maybe I could stand it up and be easier to look at that way. Yeah, that's easier, right? So this is anchoring our spring in here and pushing down on it. So to lower it, we're going to want to spin the anchor this way and lift these up. So we'll see if we can get it to move. I don't think it's moving. Yeah, we're moving it now. See right here? So we started to spin it. You can see on the bottom here, right here, that's the edge of where we wanted to anchor. So now this is our anchor, and that's the edge of it where I drilled. So we're already down that far. I don't know how we're gonna move it a lot. I'm not sure how easily it'll turn now even. But we're gonna want to get these, I would say, the full width of the hole, so you can't see where we were. And then once we do that, we'll take one of the holes and spot weld it so we can't keep turning, and then we'll slide everything back underneath. We'll set it on the floor with the tires on before we hook any of this stuff up. And then if we like our ride height, we'll take it back down. We'll weld everything back together the way we like it. But how am I gonna spin that more than that? Probably gonna happen pretty easily now that it is moving. Yeah, it's turning pretty easily. Alright, so we've got our anchors moved. That's a 1/2 inch hole, so a 1/2 inch. We've got it moved nearly 1/2 inch. The bottom one is moved a little bit more, so we'll move this one that much also, just a hair more, and then we'll just put a tack weld in whichever hole is easiest to get at to grind our tack weld back out of. Then we'll put this whole assembly back in. We won't worry about the steering or any of that stuff right now. We'll put that whole assembly back in, lower the bus down. If we like our ride height, take this back out, weld it up permanently. If we don't like our ride height, we will adjust it. We'll come back over to the table, And we'll turn these more if we have to, but I sort of think, I don't know, maybe I'll go a little bit more. Maybe I'll make sure that we're at least that hole. On the other side, it's easier to see because I drilled 2 holes so I could get my air hammer in there. My air hammer is what I use to turn it. Well, see, now we can see better that we're that entire hole. So maybe I'll go that hole in 1/2. Then we'll start there. I'm gonna try to put this back in there without ruining anything, but yeah. Are you straight over there now?
A little bit to the driver's side.
I suppose
It's like kind of
just
pointed.
sagging. Yeah, I'll have to split the difference, I guess. Add a little toe down. Here we go. Take 1. Fuck it.
I think it's
Dead on.
perfect.
Perfect.
It is. It is perfect.
First try. Oh, it's badass.
Stoked.
I'm stoked. Get some video of this
I don't know if you can really see.
from this direction. Oh, fuck yeah, bud.
Oh yeah, she's sexy.
So 3/4 of an inch. If anybody wants to do this, drill your dimples out to 1/2 inch. Drill a hole next to your 1/2 inch. Move your anchor that whole first 1/2 inch and then 1/2 of the next one. And then just weld the shit together. That's what we're gonna do. I think we will take it back out and put it back on here. So you can put all those grease zerks in and everything while it's easy. Otherwise we could have just left it up there, but. So now we got the front ones leaning like this and the back ones leaning like this. Because it's the old Volkswagen. But you can't beat that ride back, that is dead on.
Oh yeah.
That is exactly what you want. That is exactly how you want it. If anything, it's a little bit low.
I like it that way though.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like you look at it from the front, like looking at it dead on.
Yeah. It's got stance. Stance is everything, they say. Well, we're almost to the end, I think. So you gotta get the kids, and then hopefully I can get the get brake fluid in it. We're gonna have to make another list over the week and see if we can get that charging system issue. We gotta figure, so all in all, what do you think? Do you think this was what you thought it would be? In
In what terms?
well, you don't restore cars, or you don't fix cars up, so
Oh, yeah.
I mean the normal person doesn't do this. So was it harder than you thought, or was it?
Well, yeah. It's it's a lot of work.
It's more rewarding than you thought it was going to be, or
Very
it's-
rewarding.
yeah.
Because now I know a few more things.
Right.
Things I probably never thought I would know.
Yeah. She's approaching know-it-all status.
Jack of all trades. Yeah. I definitely enjoy it. Well, for the most part. But
Yeah, I think a lot of our frustration is that I'm a American car guy.
That's what I'm
So a lot of our, it doesn't matter what, if this was a Honda or if it was a Subaru or whatever it was, I'm in the dark about a lot of stuff. So it's going to be frustrating.
Right.
A lot of the stuff I think we probably, well, like with lowering the front, we did it for free. We didn't put any, we put $0 in lowering the front.
Right.
Moved the shock mounts, made them out of some scrap metal we had laying around. Turned the torsion leaf anchors inside the tubes.
But in the end, it's worth it. Because now I have my dream vehicle and we have another vehicle to drive around.
Yeah. Yeah. Just you go on record saying that it's pretty much it for Volkswagen for me. I think.
I think that's it for me.
No, because early on you were like, well, maybe I'll get another one with windows and
But completely done.
yeah. Oh, they're not so bad. Just we got a lot of old 30s hot rod stuff that I want to take care of. So then we'll revisit Volkswagen stuff here in another year or two. But I got an 80-year-old dad that needs to drive a Model A sedan Model A Roadster that we're building for him. So we don't want to, we want to get that done where he can still drive. He can take on the dirt, being a wet window with it. So.
And I'm also been working on your 34.
Yeah, the 34 Ford that'll. I just thought in a hurry for it. I need to collect a lot more parts before we get going. One thing at a time.
That's something else we'll be documenting when we get to that too, so.
Right. But you're gonna want to stay tuned for the trip. That's coming up really soon. We're going to Montana to a car show. Yeah. Car show in Montana, and then from there we're going to the West Coast. I'm not sure exactly where.
Yeah, I think we're gonna skip out on San Francisco because
It's a time issue. We just can't get. She can't get enough time off, and I can't close my shop without one. Maybe another day. Who knows? Maybe we'll. You just never know. You just never know what's going to happen.
we'll just play it as it goes.
So that's probably this video. I'm gonna do the rear brakes yet today, and I don't think anybody cares to watch that.
You record it.
I think I recorded the front brakes. So I'll get that done tonight, and then we'll get brakes. We're ready for a test drive. Either this week sometime, maybe Wednesday when we go to dinner, maybe we'll take this.
Yeah.
It's licensed, it's insured, so
Good to go.
we're ready to rock, yeah.
Ready to roll, like Theo would say.
You know. Well, thanks for watching all of this, and we'll keep making videos because it's not completely done. We'll keep making videos. We need to do some interior stuff you want her to do, right?
Yeah.
And I have to put a piece of tubing around that rack, just kind of a rail around there, and then paint that.
Just some buffing on the paint and
Yeah, it's pretty exciting
Little
when
things.
you get down to a list that's 10 things.
right.
I mean,
and some little things.
It's 10 at the very most.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.